Hi there, I'm Eli Conley, and I'm going to take you through some vocal warm-up and gentle relaxation exercises for singers on testosterone. Truthfully, this video works for singers of all kinds, but we're specifically going to be talking about transgender, non-binary, and intersex folks taking tea, and some exercises you can do to help ground yourself and have a more relaxed instrument, whether your voice is currently changing or has already changed. So the first thing we're gonna do is do a little massage. So we're gonna massage our face, working our way around the cheeks, the forehead, the jaw, anywhere it feels like it would like a little attention. And often in here around the jaw can be a little tender. So go gently, you don't need to push hard. The jaw does a lot of work staying closed against gravity normally, so see if you can let it go. You can also massage around the hinges of your jaw and the back of your neck, just helping everything loosen up a little bit before we begin singing. And then we're gonna start to work our way into this triangle here between my jawbone and the crease between my head and neck. So you can use your thumbs or your first couple fingers, and we're just massaging right behind the jaw where it's soft. And then working our way all along here. And if you find any places that feel particularly tender or sore, you can spend a little extra time there. Imagining all of this can be as soft as possible. And you can also massage in this triangle, again, not going below the crease between your head and neck because you don't want to press on your windpipe, but right in here. It's actually the base of the tongue muscle. The tongue muscle is much larger than we typically think of. And you can even feel it if you put your fingers in here and then tense your tongue for a minute and then let it go. So see if you can let your tongue be soft as you're massaging in this triangle. Another massage we can do for the tongue, which often can get a little tense when we're singing, is you're gonna take your thumb and your pointer finger, and now right in that crease between the head and neck, you're gonna go right there, just gentle circles up and forward, back and down. And you're not pushing on your windpipe at all, that's not gonna feel very good, but allowing your tongue to be soft. Allowing your jaw to hang with gravity. Saying to these muscles, thank you for all the work you do. We're gonna give you a little treat, a little massage right now. And one more thing you can do here, we're gonna work a little bit lower, but again, you're not gonna push on your windpipe. This whole structure of the larynx is what houses our vocal cords, but you're gonna go right on either side of it, again with your thumb and pointer finger. You're gonna exhale out through your mouth and try to drop everything inside. So imagine your larynx can drop as you do this. Kind of like when you yawn, your larynx drops. This can feel really good if it's felt like your voice is tight or sitting up a little too high. Just gently stroking downward. You can even use a little lotion to make this easier. Nice. So now we're gonna get into our breath. And the first thing we're gonna do is just check in with our breath in our body. If you're somebody who it doesn't feel very comfortable checking in with your body, or you have a lot of dysphoria, you can skip this part of the video or just focus on the breath in your nose and mouth where they are in your face. But if you're down to give this a try, I invite you to close your eyes, or you can look down at the ground and just check in with where you feel your breath in your body at this moment. Not trying to judge it or change anything in your breath. Really just noticing what you feel moving in your body as you inhale and as you exhale. The air coming in your nostrils or your mouth. It goes down the back of our throat and our windpipe through our vocal cords. The air comes into our chest and our lungs, which are these two spongy organs, kind of like balloons, that expand every time we inhale and contract every time we exhale. They're surrounded by our rib cage. And the ribs can actually move because not only are they bone, but they have some cartilage in front. So you can even put your hand around your rib cage. And now practice, see if you can breathe deep and wide enough that your ribs move out. And as you let the breath go, your ribs come back down. The lungs are shrinking because there's less air in them. Underneath our lungs and our rib cage, we have what's called the diaphragm muscle, which is a thin muscle shaped like an upside down bowl like this. As we inhale, that muscle flattens out, engages, and helps draw in the air. As we exhale, it relaxes and arches back up into that bowl shape. So you can kind of think of your diaphragm as the floor of your lungs and your ribs. Every time we inhale, creating space for the lungs to expand. Every time we exhale, helping that air come back out. And the other thing that happens when we breathe, if we're starting to find a deep, relaxed breath, is we'll sometimes feel our belly move. As we inhale, the belly expands. As we exhale, it draws back in. We're not literally putting air in our belly, although it feels like it. But as the lungs expand, the diaphragm descends. All of the organs, the guts, intestines, stomach, all those things have to move out of the way to create space for that full diaphragmatic breath. So you can even try putting a hand on your chest and a hand on your belly and continuing to check in with your breath and see if you can feel expansion in both places, both the ribs, and breathing low enough that your belly is expanding in response to that full deep breath. But wherever you're feeling your breath right now is great. There's no wrong way to breathe. You are alive. You've been breathing for many years, so you know how to do this. We're just checking in with our breath because that's really the engine behind our voice, the power source. Now we're going to try some long tones with our voice. So you can do this on any vowel you like. I'm going to do an ah, and you can sing anywhere that feels good in your voice today. And if you're not sure, just try a spot. You can try something else if it doesn't work. And you don't have to sing the same note as me, but I'm just going to hold a long tone. So we're practicing taking a deep, full breath in and then holding a tone on the exhale. So here we go. Whenever you reach the end, take a deep breath in and do that again. And if you notice little wiggles, wavers, even cracks as you do that, totally normal, especially if your voice is currently changing. Just let that be. Let the wiggles, cracks, wobbles happen. We're going to do it one more time, and this time I want you to see if you can focus on, as you sing this long tone, allowing everything to be as relaxed and comfortable in your body as you can while you make that sound. So see if you can let your jaw hang straight down. You can allow your shoulders to relax away from your ears. You might even find, as you hold this note, you find other places you're holding tension, and see if you can let that go as you sing. Here we go. Nice gentle warm up for our voice. Now we're going to do some of what are called semi-occluded vocal tract exercises. So your vocal tract is just everything from your vocal cords up to your mouth in this bent tube. And occluded means there's something in the way of the sound. So unlike the vowel when our mouth is open, a semi-occluded vocal tract exercise could be humming. You could do some lip trills. You can use a straw. You can even use a kazoo for this. So whatever you want to do, all of those work. I'll show you a few different ways. So the first thing we're going to do is, again, hold a long tone. And I'm going to do it on a hum this time, but again, you can use a straw, whatever feels good for you. And when we do these semi-occluded vocal tract exercises, it's kind of like a massage for the throat from the inside. You're sending the vibration of your voice forward, but some of those vibrations are also coming back down to help massage in here with breath pressure coming back down after it hits your lips. So let's try that, a long hum, comfortable as you can, wherever feels good in your voice. Now we're going to do some glides downwards. So you can do kind of like you're yawning on a hum. Try that. Or if you're doing it on a straw, just helps everything in my throat to relax. Sit a little bit lower in a comfortable position. Now we're gonna do what's called a yawn sigh. So it sounds like this. Allowing everything inside again to hang low. And if it feels good, you can even start that up a little higher, maybe in your falsetto or head register. I'm gonna use those two terms interchangeably. So use whatever feels good to you for this kind of a sound up here. So if I started up there, it would be again, really normal to find cracks, breaks, wobbles in here, especially if your voice is actively changing, if you're in the first few years on T. So just allow those to be there. Don't fight them. Everything in here can be as released as possible. Now we're going to do a little more semi-occluded vocal tract exercises. So we're going to do on, off with our breath. So if you're humming, it's going to be With the straw, it would be like this. You're going to blow in between when you're not vocalizing. So it's going to be inhale whenever you need to and do it again. And again, whatever pitch. You don't have to match my pitch. And one more time, same way. It can also feel really good to do this in water. So particularly if you're feeling a lot of vocal strain or tension or fatigue, even hoarseness, get an inch or two of water in a glass. You're going to put your straw in it, not touching the bottom, but close to the bottom. I'll do the same thing we just did. The reason you don't want the water too high is because you don't want it to splash out at you too much. So let's try that together. Doing this in water creates a little more back pressure on your voice, which again is going to feel hopefully really good. Last thing we're going to do is some sirens. So first we're going to do this with the semi-occluded method. I'm going to do it on a lip trill this time. But again, hum, straw in water, all good ways to do this. So I'm going to start towards the bottom of my voice, go up as high as feels comfortable today, and then come back down. And you might encounter some cracks, wiggles, wobbles again. Just allow your voice to make that shift between the lower chest register part of your voice and the higher head or falsetto part, however that wants to happen. Really normal for that to be kind of challenging as your voice is changing and even afterwards. So we're going to go. In your own range, wherever your voice is sitting today. Let's do a few more. And last one, if it's still feeling good. That's your good, gentle warm-up to help prevent vocal strain or address it if you're feeling some of that. The reason this happens when we take tea is our vocal cords get thicker when we take tea, just like all of our muscles thicken up with testosterone. But they don't lengthen in the same way that cisgender boys do when they go through puberty. So there can be a little bit less space inside than you had before you were on tea. And because everything is a little bit bigger, we can have a tendency, if we're used to singing higher in a different way, to try to push our voice to do what it used to be able to do. Or if you're experiencing that feeling of you can't sing very loud or things feel wobbly, unstable, sometimes people will strain their voice trying to get everything more solid by controlling it. But that can actually lead to a lot of tension around here. So the reason these exercises are helpful is they help you find relaxation and access your voice in a more easy, comfortable way. Thanks for joining me.